It's good to be back, and to be honest, it feels nice to be talking about this show again. Season 2 of the hit Australian cartoon Bluey was released during a time when we all needed it. Throughout the fears of the COVID-19 pandemic, Bluey managed to keep us smiling, laughing, and even crying through it all. In my opinion, Season 2 was an incredibly good season. It managed to raise the bar from the previous season in both humor and storytelling. So after much demand and hype, I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite episodes of Bluey Season 2. As with all my lists on the channel, this is my opinion. I'm not saying that these are universally the greatest episodes. This is just what I would personally call my favorites. Though feel free to tell me what your favorite episodes are in the comments below. I'd be interested to read them. Anyways, without further ado, let's begin. Number 10.
Bingo! Come on, let's go get some tickets. Hey, where's Bingo?
Banana!
Bingo!
Sorry.
Bluey, Bingo, and Bandit are out to see a movie, but Bluey grows nervous when she sees that a thunderstorm will be in it. Bluey tries to be brave and watch all the way through, while Bandit tries to keep control of a very energized Bingo.
Okay, 3 tickets and a popcorn. And another popcorn.
Speaking of the pandemic, this episode makes me miss the fun of going to movie theaters. The large screens, the comfy seats, the smell of popcorn. Movies does a good job at capturing the fun of being at the theater. Not only do we get some humorous moments with Bandit and Bingo, but we also see some good development with Bluey's character. I bet that most people have been where Bluey is in this episode. It feels like the writers are telling its audience that it's okay to feel scared and that you'll conquer your fear when you're ready, which is a good message for kids to learn. Throwing in good humor, a good message, and even hints of nostalgia, this episode is worthy of making my number 10.
Look, it's just monkeys singing songs, mate. Don't think too hard about it. Oh, Bingo.
Number 9.
Can you play octopuses with me when we get home? It's so much fun!
Yes, okay. That sounds like a good way to learn about sea creatures.
During a playdate, Bluey introduces a new game to Chloe called, well, Octopus. When Chloe returns home, she tries it out with her dad, but he doesn't seem to understand how the game works.
Ready?
I guess.
Look, a robin!
Why would a robin be under the sea?
Dad, you're not meant to be smart. You're an octopus.
I really like that we get an episode that focuses on a different family, especially Chloe's family, since she's one of my favorite characters. I find it interesting to see how they interact compared to how Bluey and Bandit interact. The moments between her and her father are both cute and very wholesome, even if some may find it a little annoying. I also appreciate the message that you can add logic to a game and still have it be lots of fun. This episode tries something different while also hitting the right notes with what I like most about the show. Simple, but an episode that really sticks out to me.
Okay, here we go. Got it.
Number 8.
Sticky tape. Heavy. Another one.
Bingo feels down about not being invited to a birthday party. She then comes across a feather and decides to mess with the family by making anything she points at with the feather incredibly heavy.
Pop. Oh, there it is. I'll just pick it up. What?
Now the family has to find a way to stop Bingo and get Bluey to the party on time. Similar to Magic Xylophone and The Sleepover, I love it when the entire family plays along in games like this. It makes these episodes more humorous and even more intense, like something's at stake. Seeing Bingo's evil side is something I'd never expect to love. The message is also nice too, that it's not the worst thing in the world to miss out. We get those moments where we feel sad for not being invited to certain occasions, but we shouldn't let it get us down. Things happen, and that's a normal part of life. Or, at least that's how I interpret the message of this episode. Hilarious and full of suspense, this episode is quite a treat.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Eat your floor cereal.
Okay. This is the best morning ever. Dad!
Number 7.
Hey, Mom.
Whoa! What is that?
It's a cone.
Wow, another muffin-focused episode, and it's in 7th place again?
Coincidence? I think not!
It turns out that Muffin has a habit of sucking her thumb, so she has to wear a cone which prevents her from doing so. Though, this embarrasses her as the girls want to play a game which she's unable to play properly.
Here's the bread. No, that's cheese. And that's lettuce. It's bread. I can feel it.
As you guys know me, I love a hilarious Muffin episode, and Muffin Cone is definitely this season's The Sleepover. Though what they do different here probably puts this episode over The Sleepover for me. First off, I like that they make Muffin more of a sympathetic character here, rather than just a crazy kid. It makes her more down-to-earth and relatable, making it easier for us to care for her. Also, Bluey and Bingo are a lot less rebellious in this episode, which makes them more likable.
We promise Muffin won't suck her thumb even once. Muffin!
But the biggest deal breaker for me is that this episode has one of my favorite morals. The message of adapting to help others is really important for kids to know for many different reasons. All in all, Muffin Cone is cute, funny, and has one of the best represented morals in the show. Definitely a worthy contender for my top list.
What do you think, Muffin? I want to suck my thumb!
Number 6.
Bingo!
Okay, go! I think you got the hang of it. See if you can make it to your 13th birthdays.
Wanting some peace and quiet, Bandit creates a game to keep the girls quiet, but at the worst time as he has to pick up a present for Muffin that only the girls know. Bandit now has to try his hardest to read their clues and pick the correct toy. After watching this episode for the first time, I knew that this was one of the most fun episodes in the series. I adore the premise and humor that surrounds it. The interactions between Bandit and the girls really makes this episode, and this episode is definitely a contender for one of Bandit's best.
Moon. Moon truck?
Also, props to the music department as the music really shines in this episode, adding to its charm. And to bring up the elephant in the room, while Robert Irwin's cameo isn't the highlight, it is a nice addition, as his character fits in well enough. Overall, a very fun and creative premise with Bandit in the middle of it all. It's one that always leaves me in a happy mood by the end of it.
Look, the quiet game isn't actually a real game. I made it up because you kids were too noisy. I'm sorry, I'm a dodgy dad. So that means you can talk now? Ugh.
Number 5. After Chili reads Bingo a bedtime story, Bingo has a dream about floating in space with her stuffed animal Floppy. This causes Bingo to start sleepwalking, with many hilarious situations happening along the way, with the entire family involved. Now, many of you might be shocked that I didn't put this at number 1, as it's a very popular episode, But don't worry, I have nothing but good things to say about Sleepy Time. For starters, the visual storytelling is done very well here. It's shown in such a way that we can understand what's happening without needing any explanation. The editing is also a big plus, as the jump cuts between the dream and reality are always cut perfectly. It really helps bring out the humor in this episode, which is something that doesn't get acknowledged all that much.
Ooh.
But what does get brought up a lot is the final third of this episode. Seeing Bingo starting to mature is really beautiful to see, especially if you've been following the show since the beginning. The emotional writing, accompanied with the beautiful score, will definitely tug at the heartstrings. Overall, a very top-notch episode, and it's no surprise if many call it the best episode. Definitely worth a watch.
Huh?
Number 4.
But she was very lonely. No, I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
Bingo feels bad for ruining Chili's special breakfast, but cheers up when she helps Bluey put on a show for Mother's Day. They end up performing a reenactment of their parents' hookup, with hilarious twists included. Everything is going well until a mishap occurs, crushing Bingo's self-esteem once again.
It's green, but you're not green. I don't mind. Oh, I know. Let's stuff the queen up there. But she's an old lady. How rude.
Similar to the Quiet Game, I love this episode's premise. Seeing the kids performing their own silly version of how their parents met is really adorable to watch, along with their parents' reactions to it.
All right, here we go.
Door. Hi, bud. Smell this.
What?
Spot on.
The conflict within this episode also feels very relatable. We all had those moments where we experience failure and take it more harshly than we should. Following that, the moral is also done very well here. Its message on getting back up is told very clearly, and it does feel like Bingo has evolved learning this. A cute and well-written episode that I always enjoy watching.
Blow out your candles, Your Majesty. Very well.
I don't remember the Queen being there.
You wouldn't.
Number 3.
No, honey. Granddad's just had heartworm. The doctor says he needs to rest.
Dad, what are you doing?
The girls go and visit with their granddad, who's just come out of surgery. He's been informed to rest, despite not wanting to, which results in a chase around the forest. The girls have a fun time with their granddad, with both him and Bluey learning a valuable lesson at the end. After a small break from new episodes, Part 2 of Season 2 really started off with a fantastic episode. It's nice that we see more of Bluey's family, especially from Chili's side. It's also really wholesome seeing the girls and their granddad interact with each other, and kind of nostalgic too, because I bet we all have those grandparents who are kind of the rule breakers. He and Maynard are characters that I'd like to see a lot more of.
Where are they?
Where's who?
You know who.
Did you get a haircut? Come on, Maynard, keep it together.
By far, the biggest strength of this episode is its message. While pretty simplistic, talking about caring for one another, this episode really shines a light on it, showing how heavy of a topic it can be.
He has to accept that he's getting older and needs to look after himself.
Well, if he was here, he'd just say, shouldn't it be up to me?
No, it shouldn't. I'm his daughter. He should take care of himself for me because I still need him.
It was a real genius move to make the emotional moments geared towards the adults rather than the children, making it more effective. This is definitely an episode I recommend, as it has all the proper ingredients of a great Bluey episode.
Granddad, I've got a plan.
I didn't hear any of that.
Number 2.
Well, going to lie in comfy hammocks wearing sunglasses.
Drinking from coconuts with those little umbrellas.
No kids allowed.
Yeah, no kids allowed.
What?
On the way to Nana's house, the girls are shocked that their parents want time away from them. They then use their imaginations in this cute doodle style of a cat and mouse chase between the kids and the parents. Following the trend of the quiet game and the show, this episode is just unbelievably fun. I love the premise of the family playing a simple game together with the doodle style twist. Despite having a simplistic look to it, it's animated rather nicely, being really fluent and even very expressive.
If we had special parachutes that still have the spar attached to them. And Jerry Lee's, they're fanning us.
That Jerry Lee sure earns his money.
I also love how this episode conveys just how fun the use of creativity and imagination can be. Many episodes do show the fun of imagination in general, but this is the one that has a real focus on it. If you're wanting to watch a simple yet fun episode, this is the one for you. If only it was longer.
What chops through metal?
Diamond?
Bandit, don't help them.
Sorry.
Before I get to my number one pick, I'd like to bring up a few honorable mentions. While I enjoyed a lot of episodes throughout this season, I'll rule my mentions down to these 5 episodes. Starting with Baby Race. Chili tells the story of Bluey's first steps, as we see her attempts to train Bluey with hilarious results. A cute concept that also shows the pressures of being a mother, with yet another good message about running your own race. Circus. Bluey and her friends play a game of circus until a kid named Hercules starts to boss them around. It's really nice to see the kids all playing together again, since it feels like we're getting less episodes of that nowadays. I also like Hercules and his redemption arc, showing that he's not a bully, just a stubborn kid. Though, admittedly, the message is difficult to understand. Not a perfect episode, but it has some things that I really like about it. Duck cake. Bingo wants a duck cake for her birthday, and it's up to Bandit to make it. While struggling with the cake, he also has to deal with Bluey and tries to convince her to pick up her mess. While I really like the adorable interactions between Bluey and Bandit, the biggest plus with this episode is its message. It's a perfectly presented moral saying that when doing good deeds, happiness is the best reward you can receive. It's an incredibly wholesome episode that always leaves me feeling warm-hearted. Flat Pack. While the parents are building a new bench, the kids use the styrofoam and cardboard for their games. This episode is probably one of the best written in the entire season. Normally the show excels at having realistic interactions, though it really shines in this episode, both between the parents and between the children. Also, this episode has a very clever use of metaphors from start to finish with how the evolution of life works. A cute episode on the outside, but a well-written and emotional journey on the inside. And finally, Rug Island. Bingo is upset that Bandit has to go to work and can't play, but the kids decide to play Rug Island with some new felt pens. Bandit suddenly joins in, acting stranded as he learns to adapt to the island life. The interactions between Bandit and the kids really shines in this episode. It's full of cute and hilarious moments, topped off with one of the most beautiful and emotional scenes in the show. Once again, props to the music department for making a simple scene so full of emotion. Definitely deserves to be in my honorable mentions. And now, on to my number one pick, and maybe a controversial one at that. Number 1.
Bingo! Big brothers always beat little brothers. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah, that's just the way it goes.
Bandit and Stripe play some rounds of squash, with Bluey and Bingo controlling them. Throughout the game, Bingo and Stripe get picked on for being the little sibling, which Bluey soon feels bad for doing. By the end, Bingo and Stripe regain their confidence while Bluey sabotages Bandit to teach him a lesson. I know what you guys are thinking. Why this episode? It's not as funny as Escape. It's not as dramatic as Sleepy Time. Why is this your favorite episode of the season? Well, maybe it's because it's one of the most personal episodes to me. Growing up with many siblings, I did have moments where I felt like I wasn't good enough because I was the younger sibling. And with this episode, it really shines a light on the sibling relationship between Bluey and Bingo. And it also shows how good of a big sister Bluey is. While sometimes making poor choices, she knows in her heart what's right and what's wrong. Even though she purposely lets Stripe win, all she wants is for her sister to be happy. Not a thrilling conclusion, but a very wholesome ending. I also like the cute concept with the kids controlling the grown-ups like it's a video game. The interactions between Bingo and Stripe are really adorable. The water fountain scene is definitely one of the most heartwarming moments for me.
No, I want us to win.
Oh, really? Why is that?
Because big sisters don't always beat little sisters.
Overall, Squash is not the funniest, not the most emotional, but the most wholesome episode of the entire season, and a nearly perfect episode in my eyes.
Yep, that's just the way it goes.
Good one, Bingo.
But I still say kids are silly.
What?
And those are my picks for my top 10 favorite Bluey episodes of Season 2. I'll admit, this list was harder to make than the Season 1 list, which really shows how much the show is evolving. While having the occasional silly episodes, the writing is growing more mature, almost like it's following its audience as they grow up. Episodes such as Army, Sleepy Time, and Baby Race truly show the emotional depth of this preschool cartoon. They also provided more very important morals that both kids and adults can learn from.
Bluey, checklist. Oh, okay. Go. Apple cry. Check. Pick myself up. Check. Dust myself off. Check. And keep going. The show must go on. Check.
Season 2 was a big step forward for the show, and I can't wait to see what surprises Season 3 will bring. Before I end this video, I want to thank you guys for being very patient with me. Life has been making things slow for the channel, but I never stop thinking about making new content. I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving me, and it warms my heart reading all your nice comments. I seriously can't thank you all enough. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Also, feel free to comment down below what your favorite episodes of Season 2 are. Consider subscribing for more top lists as well as other content, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.